The third week of testimony in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial has resumed after the holiday break. Federal prosecutors called Combs' former assistant to the stand.
She told the jury that at one point Combs woke up an employee in the middle of the night, forced her at gunpoint to take Combs and his bodyguard to the home of a man who Ventura had been dating. ABC's Reena Roy has more. She's outside the courthouse in Long Manhattan. Reena.
Yeah, David and Tanya, Capricorn Clark is on the stand telling jurors about 2 different times that she says she was held against her will while working for Sean Diddy Combs. And prosecutors are hoping that this kind of testimony proves the kidnapping element of the racketeering conspiracy charge against Combs. Capricorn Clark taking the stand today in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Clark was once an assistant to Combs. Clark testifying about being petrified when she was held against her will in 2004 and forced to take a lie detector test about some missing jewelry. Clark telling jurors she was taken to a dilapidated building by one of Combs' bodyguards. She testified a man told her she was going to take the lie detector test to figure out what happened to Combs' jewelry. And if she didn't pass, quote, they're going to throw you in the East River. Clark says the bodyguard took her to the same deserted location on 5 consecutive days for lie detector tests. Last week, rapper Kid Cudi testified that Clark was the one who alerted him that Combs had allegedly broken into his home when he found out Cassie Ventura and Kid Cudi were dating. Kid Cudi saying Clark called him saying she was forced to go along. He also testified that he believes Combs was responsible for setting his Porsche on fire in a different instance. Members of the LA Fire and Police Departments also testifying today. Over the last 2 weeks, prosecutors have called 16 witnesses, attempting to prove Combs used violence and threats to coerce women into sex and protect his music empire. Combs has pleaded not guilty and denies sexually assaulting or trafficking anyone. His lawyers have argued that his domestic violence was driven by jealousy and drug addiction, and that his sexual activities do not amount to sex trafficking. Combs saying all sexual encounters were consensual. Now, prosecutors say they feel that the trial is right on schedule. Their case is expected to take about 6 weeks in total. David, Tanya.
Reena, who else is expected to take the stand today?
Well, we could see an arson investigator with the LA Fire Department testify as early as today. You'll remember that last week, Kid Cudi testified that he believed Combs was responsible for a car fire for setting his Porsche on fire in his Los Angeles driveway in 2012 after Combs found out about his relationship with Cassie Ventura. So the jury saw photos of that car fire, and now they'll hear from this investigator who responded to the scene. And he'll likely talk about the evidence that he saw, including the smoke and the fire damage, a burnt handkerchief, a lighter, and a bottle that was filled with liquid that smelled like gasoline. He'll also likely talk about his conclusion that this fire was set intentionally.